Fun fact: I actually back when I had my vision, I used to like to play Disney Infinity, and where this is going is I actually remember the Force Awakens playset and that I had for this. I had and I had Rey and I had Kylo Ren, and yeah, I'm openly admitting, I'm openly admitting to that. It was a fun game. I liked it. I'm Mac from movieguy.com, and this is my review of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I'm a blind film critic, so I'm reviewing this from the perspective of somebody who can't see all the cool special effects that J.J. Abrams had all laid out for you people with the eyes, with the googly eyes. um, Actually, I did see this film. This was the last Star Wars film I was able to see visually. I was blind by the time Last Jedi, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker all came out. I didn't get to see any of those. So it was the last one for me. Or Rogue One, actually, maybe. I don't know, whichever one of those two came out late. Don't make me look up the date right now. That was just like an anecdotal thing, and now I'm realizing I think Rogue One came out after. Maybe Rogue One was the last one. Force Awakens. I actually like it. I know there's this like consistently like raging topic about Force Awakens among Star Wars fans. Actually, like the whole 7, 8, 9. Everybody's debating it, and everybody's mad at Ryan Johnson all the time for The Last Jedi. And there's just so much like Star Wars fans, I'm sure, just hours online spent debating the new films. But, as opposed to like the prequel trilogy. I've heard a lot of the complaints, and I'm not gonna like list 100 different reasons why. I think some of them are stupid. I think people complaining about the fact that Rey's a girl is dumb. Yeah, of course she's a girl. Why wouldn't she be? Are you saying girls can't have the Force? Leia uses the Force. Like what? The Force only chooses dudes. Like what? Oh, she's not a Skywalker. Okay, well, neither were all of the other, Jedi that were in training when Anakin slaughtered them all in the original trilogy. None of those people were Skywalkers. Obi-Wan's not a Skywalker. Yoda's not a Skywalker. There's plenty of people who are not Skywalkers. So, the Jedi Council, all of the Jedi that are in the original trilogy, it's just, there's a lot of non-Skywalker folk that have used the Force. Let's just put it that way. So all of it is kind of silly. Yeah, there are some beats, but I think that's kind of intentional. I think they're trying to sort of mirror the first one in some places with, Rey is on a planet, and it's like one of those like remote planets full of garbage, and it kind of feels like Luke's planet a little bit. There's a little bit of that, and of course, she's introduced to the story by finding a droid. And Poe is a great pilot who doesn't take direction very well. He's got a personality to him. Kylo Ren, has got conflicting thoughts within him, but they're all different in their own ways. Like, Kylo still throws like temper tantrums because he's young. I mean, they're all young. That's the thing is, Vader was old enough that his kids were the ages that they were. When you think about how like Luke and Leia were like fully grown at the time, that's how old Anakin was as Vader. Kylo has no children. Kylo barely just got out of the collapse of the temple, and he's just trying to find himself. Rey, she doesn't have a family with kids. Poe doesn't have a family with kids. They're all sort of supposed to be on the younger end of the spectrum. So they haven't quite figured out who they are yet. They're more along like Luke, Leia, and Han's age. So the fact that Kylo doesn't have all the wisdom of Vader, and the fact that people hold that against him, I think is just kind of silly. I think that's kind of the point of Kylo Ren, is that he's not Vader, and he wants so badly to be Vader, but he can never be Vader. Like, sort of like Highlander, there can only ever be one Vader. Like, he'll never be Vader. He won't. But I enjoy it. I think BB-8 was a great cast addition. One of the things that I've noted about the 7, 8, and 9 is that they use our original androids a lot less. I feel like C-3PO and R2-D2 don't do anything. So I guess so that BB-8 can do everything. I thought that was a little bit of a cop-out, because at least like Chewbacca does some things. Leia has some moments, Luke has some moments, Han has some moments. C-3PO really just doesn't do anything. He just kind of stands around the corner and just like has a line every once in a while to remind you that he's alive. And R2-D2 spends like most of the Force Awakens like in slumber, you know. Like, I mean, he's barely alive. So probably should have put spoiler talk at the beginning of this, but this movie's been out long enough. And yeah, it's just I like the movie. I don't know how else to like explain it. I liked the that Finn was a stormtrooper. You know, I like that suddenly we got to see a stormtrooper. You know, and what happens to them? Is it possible for a stormtrooper to change their mind? Do they have personalities? Because they're so expendable every time we see them. They just like drop like flies otherwise. And suddenly here's Finn. Dude doesn't even have a name, you know, and he's making all these choices and these thoughts, and he's having to learn on his feet how to do things. And all these emotions are rushing to his head, I guess, because he somehow has managed to like unlock his brain, even though he doesn't know where he is, where he came from, who he is, any of that stuff. And I think that story's compelling. I love that Poe Dameron was so good that J.J. Abrams couldn't kill him off and had to keep him in the film. I think Han's appearance in this film is incredibly impactful. I think yeah, you know, it gave Harrison Ford what he'd always been looking for, in terms of closure on his character. Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I mean, this film is the last best chance to see a real performance from Carrie Fisher, because she's like half CGI in The Last Jedi. So as far as the audio description goes, from everything I could remember, I thought the audio description was good. It told everybody. I thought it was funny that they described Adam's face as being angular. I got a little kick out of that when Kylo takes off his mask, and they were like, he has a narrow angular face, and I was like, what does that even mean? You know, like what is somebody picturing when they think of that? Because it's just him I mean, that's just his face, you know. That's what he looks like in real life. But I guess he has an angular face. I don't know, but there was one character, Maz or however you pronounce her name, the character that's voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, that they go to visit, who I swear has no character description. When they meet her, they're just like, here she is. This is the first film she's been in, so we should have gotten like a really great establishing description of her character, and we didn't. and that was kind of weird. But like, I felt like all the other character descriptions were really good. I didn't really have, yeah. I mean, like, you still have the thing where characters that previously appeared in other films don't get character descriptions. You know, like, it's Han Solo, it's Chewbacca, it's C-3PO. You know, there's a little bit of that with gray hair, like they do for Luke. And, you know, look, with some gray hair and a beard, and oh, he's, you know, time has not been kind to him, I guess, is the suggestion there. But the fight scenes are well done. BB-8 is well described. All of his little movements and stuff, because he does move around a lot. He's very active. They made BB-8 even more active than R2 and C-3PO in a way. Even though C-3PO can walk, BB-8 is more like a combination. I don't know. He's more like R2-D2 if R2-D2 didn't have legs and could just roll everywhere. It just makes BB-8 a little bit more movable, which allows for his range of motion just allows for him to do more, and his little quirks, and he's got little hands and stuff that come out, and really inventive stuff there. I like the stuff that they expanded on with the Jedi powers, so that it's not just the same Jedi powers you're used to. You start seeing Kylo doing some stuff that hasn't really previously been done in terms of mind reading. Just some cool things there. So this is definitely still up at the top of my Star Wars films. I thought this really kicked off what I thought was going to be an amazing trilogy. I think maybe if JJ had stuck through and just decided to direct all three of them, we might have had a really solid trilogy. But obviously The Last Jedi, I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not on that train. It's just not The Force Awakens. So instead of having that like New Hope to into Empire Strikes Back, we don't have Phantom Menace into Attack of the Clones either, because Phantom Menace was not great, and then Attack of the Clones was awful. So, in my opinion, we start out with Force Awakens, which starts off with a bang, and then we move into Last Jedi, which is just good. Not great, but good. So it's just a dip in quality. Anyway, we'll get to that when I get to it. So right now I'm just going to close out my Force Awakens. I'm going to give this, by the way, a surprise. I'm going to give it an A. I'm a big fan of The Force Awakens. This is actually my third time watching it, I think. Yeah. I like the film. And you will too if you haven't seen it. Don't forget to tell me what your thoughts are in the comments, and throw me a like and a subscribe. It helps the algorithms and gets me to more people. And I think I'm at 46 subscribers now. That's pretty cool. And we're going to continue on. I think I'm going to get there in time for Obi-Wan. I don't know. I'm trying. But may the Force be with you. Check out my website, movieguy.com, and Last Jedi is next. But is it, in fact, The Last Jedi? That's the real question. We'll find out.